important. Our City Council is set to vote on the purchase agreement tomorrow, September 19th, after International Village reps do a presentation on their proposals. The date of the purchase agreement is the same day, this Wednesday, September 21st, that Ypsi City officials, including Mayor Edmonds, Mayor Pro Tem Brown, Director of Economic Development Beth Ernat, and Chief of Police Degusti are set to go to China on a trip funded by the Wayne State Chinese Students and Scholars Association.
We should not be pandering to U.S. Congress deadlines for visa programs or pandering to the threats of pulling out of a purchase from Chinese developers. We do not answer to those people, we answer to the people in this room.
And I really can't believe that y'all almost went to Beijing without hosting a public comment period. That looks so bad that you already have the tickets and haven't even asked the city.
I don't know if you guys know about the Chinese development in Africa. I don't think how many of you have ever been to China. I have. I would definitely look into their tactics as far as business is concerned. There's a lot of things that we just need to do more research on.
I've taught scores of Chinese students over the years. I'm proud of the results we've had back and forth. It's been a good exchange. The end of the school year, I was part of a delegation that met with visiting academics to survey the school, and we were told this was going to be a big boost to our enrollment. So of course I volunteered to do the presentation. The up to 3,000 students is the number I've heard for the International Village. And as someone in the school where enrollment is down, I think that's great. I will be on the forefront teaching them if that happens. And I also speak as one who has studied abroad, who has taught international students, and who has taken students to other countries. In my opinion, the best interest of those students is to immerse themselves in the local culture. I don't tell my students to stay in Little America when we're in another country. That you will learn more from the local customs, food, how people put their jacket on or part their hair different from you, that you should be part of the culture and they would welcome us.
And the other thing is I want to say to you also that I am busy buying a house in Namibia. That's in Africa. And if you want to know how, that's a country that has had a huge
Tell the truth, Joy. Tell the truth.
Chinese in the last 10 years. Big article about that in the New York Times. And what that has done to that country. And what that country has felt with the prejudice that they have felt with the Chinese. So I just think we need to really think about what we're getting ourselves into.
I'm involved in international work. I just came back from Turkey. I'm involved in a lot of different parts of the world right now in refugee resettlement work. And we do need to sit down and think about what is happening in China, with China and other countries. So I'd like to just thank you for bringing that topic up because it is very important. We have important resources in Michigan. If we rush into this development, we could be basically getting ourselves into bed with people that we don't know. Do you guys know this? I understand that you've taken the tickets to go to China. That already, to me, seems like a very big problem, that we didn't purchase those tickets ourselves as a city and instead took the money through a student organization.
Hi, my name is Allyn-Feuer. I spoke briefly before, and I'd just like to make a brief comment, not about the substance of this issue, but about the way that we're going to have this conversation as a city. It's not clear how long we're going to keep having this discussion. The thing might get approved soon. It might be a long process. But over the course of that time, I would appreciate it if we could dispense with this business of vilifying people according to where they come from. We've heard a lot of negative opprobrium on the topic of the Chinese. We've heard a lot of negative opprobrium on the topic of the Chinese. I don't think it's a good idea to start characterizing people negatively or vilifying them based on where they come from or what their skin looks like. And in particular, I think it's really negative and unhelpful, inappropriate and wrong to start vilifying members of the council on the basis of where they travel. I don't think that accepting public office in the city should prevent people from traveling where they want to.
It's not a matter of where they're traveling, it's where they took the money for the tickets, and statistically, I'd like for you to research what's going on.
Okay, so if someone else wants to address public comment.
And secondarily, I'm a humanitarian activist who does work in Jamaica, and Jamaica's going through China buying all of them, all of Jamaica up to being sold out by even the black Jamaicans in the government. So you can't say that the problem is only whiteness, but there is a problem to do with money making the rest of us all divided against each other. And the fact is, we have to look at it. It is crazy to me, guilty white liberalism, to say we can't say Chinese. This is America, this is our country, we can speak up and finally get everybody who's always been here into the conversation. The fact is, it's a country with lots of human rights abuses, and here's a town that's been working on human rights abuses more actively than any other town I have visited. So let's keep really working at human rights abuses.
But I want to say that this is not about xenophobia.
Right.
I want to say something else. The only people who are saying that this is about xenophobia are white dudes who are ignoring that gentrification is happening. They're not concerned about xenophobia. And I only hear that xenophobia line from white people who are middle class, particularly white dudes, every time I've heard it. So that's not what you're concerned about, especially if you are saying that gentrification is not a problem. So let's be real about this. You are only concerned trolling about that shit, and that's not what you're concerned about. Thank you very much.
And also, I think we're not against Chinese foreigners coming here. We're against capitalists. It might be a communist country by name, but it is a capitalist system. Is that the beeper for that? Oh, okay. It's like I did not do 3 minutes yet. But it's people who are worth millions of dollars coming into a community where the median household income is $26,000. I think is the issue. They could be coming from anywhere, but it's just the fact that China does have a global imperial. They're literally doing what the U.S. was doing. They're now the imperialists. And so I think if we can just be more transparent, I've heard a lot of people in the audience skeptical about the trip to China, so maybe just publish the itinerary or publish the expenses that the CSSC gave us or something, but just make those things transparent. And
Unlike some people in this room, I had the opportunity of I've lived in Japan, I've gone to Hong Kong, I've lived in Korea. I have been a person of color in Asia. So I want to make sure, Nicole, that you understand and take note. You are beautifully melanated, but take note on how people treat you over there. It's going to reflect back here. It is not so much about, there's a lot of ideology that comes with Taoism and other kinds of Buddhists that bleeds into their business practices that allow a lot of, oh, it's okay, we can bargain. There's not a lot of definitive lines that are being set in China, and if anyone would love to argue with me, unless you've been there and have seen it, shut up. Maybe you haven't left the area, and maybe you've not traveled in a while. The trip to China might be fun. You have to see the way that world is developing.
And gentrification is not just that those people are coming, it's everything that goes with it. The Eastern culture, I've been to Japan, okay? I've been to Turkey, I've been to Guam, I've been to Germany. Their culture, they stick to themselves. So if you think they're gonna come in and just openly come into the community and open their arms, not unless somebody's programmed them differently.
Wait then.
If that's not going to happen, it's going to become a closed community. It's not going to be an open community. It's going to become closed. We're not going to be welcome there. They'll tell you we'll be welcome there, but the attitudes and everything are not welcome. And I am not, don't get me wrong, anyone that wants to come to this country that can come and add to it, I'm for that. But when you're talking about bringing 3,000 people into a diverse community that basically, as you can see, we all interact with each other, they're not going to be part of that community. Think about it.